Hello and welcome to IM Movies. At the height of his career, an FBI officer, Sean Archer, has made many enemies who want him dead. One day, he is playing with his son Mike in a park when a sniper, Castor Troy, aims at him. As Mike hugs his father, Castor shoots him, and the bullet injures Sean but kills Mike as it hits him in the head. Sean is so regretful of his son's demise that he spends 6 years looking for Castor and seems well respected in his department. Sean and his team have a lead about Castor and are working on it while Castor appears to be fitting a giant bomb inside the International Church choirs, leaves happily after planting the bomb, and flirts with a lady singing the choirs. At the same time, Sean is tired of being mad at his team for not getting information about Castor yet. Still, his friend, Officer Tito, approaches and informs him that he has information about the private flight that Castor's brother, Troy, has paid for. Sean gets excited hearing this and orders them to get their men on the plane, mentioning that Pollux never flies without his brother.
Pollux doesn't fly without Big Brother, now come on!
Meanwhile, Castor arrives at the airport and meets his men, who take his valuables, and he meets Pollux. Castor loves his brother so much that he binds shoelaces himself, and after learning that he has paid for the plane, Castor mentions that they have their guys for that, and if he did not love him, he would have killed him so far. As the duo gets on the plane, the air hostess offers drinks to Castor, but instead, he flirts with her. As the plane takes off, the FBI surrounds the plane under Sean and Tito's command. When Castor approaches the pilot, the hostess appears to be an FBI agent, and as she points her gun, Pollux attacks her. Sean runs his car towards the plane and turns before hitting it. Castor brings Winters outside and kills her. Sean stops his car there and gets on the helicopter. He uses the helicopter and causes Castor's plane to crash. Castor leaves the plane, kills many soldiers, and injures one of Sean's men, Limos. Eventually, Sean and Castor confront each other, and they point their guns, revealing that they have one bullet in their pistols. During this, Castor says that he wants to reveal a biblical plague on LA and must think that he is bluffing, but he may not be. Castor mentions Sean's daughter, which infuriates Sean, who tries to shoot him. But fortunately, Castor is out of bullets. Castor pretends to be sorry, then he attacks Sean with a knife and pushes him in front of a turbocharger that flies him away and knocks him out. The movie proceeds to Sean's home when his daughter, Jamie, seems sad as she's been suspended from school for a fight. Sean returns home, and from his wife, Eve, he learns about Jamie's suspension and tries to explain that she can't change how she looks every week. After Jamie leaves, Sean tells Eve that he has caught their son's killer.
I got him, Eve.
And she is pleased to learn that now Sean will take the desk job and spend time counseling people. Sean is at his office. He is appreciated for his services, but denies mentioning the names of the men he lost in his mission. When Tito arrives there, Sean closes the case of his son's death with a heavy heart and reveals that Special Ops Officer Mueller wants to talk to him. When Sean refuses to speak to her, she arrives and shows him the floppy drive they have recovered from Pollux's suitcase. They play the video and learn about the bomb, and Sean realizes that this is the biblical plague Castor was discussing. Sean reaches where Pollux is being investigated for the bomb, but denies giving any information without seeing his brother. Sean argues with FBI Director Lazaro and stands worried outside when Mueller approaches him and suggests they can get information from Pollux only if Sean gives him a warm, brotherly hug. Sean does not understand, after which Mueller leads him to the Walsh Institute, where Sean learns that Castor is still alive and is in a coma. They meet Dr. Malcolm Walsh, who informs him about how they have made an artificial ear for Limos. Mueller explains to Sean that Walsh can change the voice and outlook of their government witnesses. After indicating what his institution does, Walsh explains to Sean that what they will do with him will be a temporary surgery. He adds that they will swap his face with Castor's, and his physique and voice will be transformed using the instruments they have. Sean hears this and denies taking the risk.
No.
There's no one else, Sean.
No!
But Mueller tells him he is their best choice as he has studied Castor for many years. Sean investigates Castor's girlfriend, Sasha, and her brother Dietrich, but he gets nothing more than a date from them and allows them to leave. Sean returns home at night and meets Eve, who is happy to see him, but soon she gets sad after learning that Sean still wants to do one last assignment before quitting his job. Afterward, Sean is seen at Walsh's institution, indicating that he has agreed to the job and is worried about losing control after seeing himself as Castor. Tito encourages him, after which Sean requests that Dr. Walsh put back the mark on his chest as it is a memory for him, and he agrees. After that, Sean goes through the process and is infuriated to see himself as Castor Troy in the mirror. Tito calms him and assures him that he is Sean Archer. Sean complains about his voice, and Walsh fixes it for him. After Sean is completely transformed into Castor, he is sent to Erewhon Prison, where Pollux is kept. The jail in charge, Walton, tells him he is the authority here, reveals that the prison is a giant magnetic field, and orders him to be put with the rest of the prisoners. Sean enters the jail and meets Burke Hicks, the same prisoner he put in there, and after that he spots Pollux there. Before Sean can approach him, a prisoner named Dubov attacks him and starts a fight. Pollux becomes suspicious after watching his brother get beaten, but Sean senses this and brutally knocks out Dubov. Walton orders them to be freed and leaves them, stating that he is the one to decide when the fight ends.
I stop the fights.
In the meantime, Castor gets out of the coma, and after looking at his face, he reaches his man, Lars. After a while, Lars and his friend bring Dr. Walsh, who finds Castor watching how he took off his face and asks him to guess why he is here. Afterward, Sean meets Pollux and tells him that he has been in a coma and that his senses and reflexes are not working correctly yet. He tricks Pollux and learns that the bomb has been planted at the LA Convention Center. Sean leaves, telling him is very pathetic.
You are so pathetic.
And returns to his cell. He gets happy after learning that he has a visitor. Sean waits and is thrilled to see Castor in his disguise. He mentions that he was in a coma, but Castor shows him that he has killed Walsh, Mueller, and Tito, who were the only ones to know his real identity. Sean is broken to see his marriage ring on Castor's finger and tries to kill him, but jail staff save him. Castor returns to Sean's home as he mistakenly enters but returns looking at Eve. He gets out of the car and flirts with Eve before she leaves for the hospital. Eve feels that he has changed, but leaves. And after Castor enters the house, he reads Sean's diary and calls him a loser after reading about his relationship with Eve.
What a loser.
Castor listens to music and approaches Jamie. He finds her talking to her friend and smoking, but instead of getting mad at her, he takes a cigarette and leaves dancing, which shocks Jamie. Sean is in his cell when he learns that Castor has got him out of there, and is very sad after seeing everything fall apart. Sean is in the investigation room when Lazaro approaches Castor and tells him that everything with this case will go through him.
Nothing to do with this case goes through me, understood?
As breaking a deal with Pollux is not like him. After everyone leaves, Castor meets his brother and asks him to make him look good. And when he mentions the $10 million spent on the bomb, Castor asks him to think of what it will cost if he saves LA and becomes the hero. Following that, Castor approaches the bomb-defusing team and orders Captain to leave after learning they won't be able to do it. As they leave, Castor enters the password, defuses the bomb 2 seconds before the blast, and becomes the hero. Sean listens to the news of the bomb on TV, is saddened to see Castor as a hero, and listens to his message for him.
Interception. Now our side's got the ball. Sorry.
Everyone congratulates Castor on his success, and he apologizes for being insufferably boring for them. Castor is then informed that he has a call from President and Eve, so he puts President on hold and listens to Eve first. In the evening, Eve returns home and is shocked to see the preparations for a candlelight dinner. Castor surprises her, and after he tells her what happened at the office, Eve is confused and mentions that he has been different since he got Castor. She adds that she cannot forget his promises to her about quitting his job.
I'm supposed to forget all the promises because you're going back into the fray?
Sean gets closer to kiss him while taking her upstairs and cheers her mood. On the other hand, Sean questions Burke and learns that they take their shoes off only in the torture room before roasting their brains. Sean thinks of a plan, fights a guard over a cigarette, and reaches the torture chamber, where he finds Dubov being tortured. Walton orders Sean to take off his shoes and put him in the chair, and before they start hurting him, Sean talks to Dubov and convinces him to help. The duo works as a team to get out of the torture room. They create a riot inside the jail, and on their journey to escape, Dubov gets shot. Sean tries to save him, but fails. Somehow, Sean makes his way out and finds himself in the middle of the sea. Soon, a helicopter appears and opens fire at him. Sean dodges the bullets and jumps into the ocean. Meanwhile, Eve brings Castor to Mike's grave on his death anniversary, and he feels sorry for his demise. As he returns to his office, he gets the news of Sean's death, and upon learning that his body has not yet been found, he orders the LAPD to go on the mission. At night, Sean is seen in the city when he steals a car, contacts Eve to tell her that the man pretending to be her husband is not her husband, and orders her to get to his mother's place without telling him. Eve does not take him seriously and disconnects the call. Sean tries to reach Lazaro but finds Castor on the phone and disconnects the call without saying anything further than his name. Sean reaches Dietrich's place and meets him as Castor Troy. Dietrich takes him to his friend's house where they have drugs, and Dietrich questions him about leaving the country. Castor tells him he is not going anywhere,
I'm not going anywhere.
and wants to hunt down Sean. When asked how, Sean reveals his house code and mentions that he is vulnerable at his house only. His friends ask him what they will do after kidnapping him, and he replies that he will tear his face off. Sean enters the washroom, as he has never experienced drugs. He's looking in the mirror when Sasha finds him and slaps him. Sean opens his eyes on the bed when Sasha kisses him passionately. Pollux watches them and informs his brother that Sean has started liking him. Sean then stops Sasha and tells her he will be with her until his brother helps him. Sasha tells him his presence can put her and her son at risk. Sean puts on his clothes when he looks at Sasha's son, Adam. When asked, Sasha tells him he is his son.
He's yours too.
And Sean hugs him affectionately, recalling Mike. Soon, the FBI surrounds the place and attacks their apartment. Sean saves Sasha and Adam while Dietrich and his friends stop them. Dietrich's friend dies fighting the FBI while Dietrich, Sasha, and Sean take down all the FBI agents except Castor. Castor aims at Sasha and is about to shoot her when Dietrich steps in front of the bullet and orders his sister to leave the building. After Dietrich dies, Sean picks up an SMG and shoots at Castor, but he hides. Castor and Sean stand against each other behind a mirror when Castor suggests he switch back to his real form, but they end up shooting at each other. Sean manages to escape and reaches the roof, where Pollux tries to shoot him, but Sean kills him and escapes. Castor mourns his brother's death when an FBI agent asks him why he is crying for Pollux, but Castor shoots him. Castor is very sad in his office when Lazaro approaches and gets mad at him for using his illegal tactics, and adds that he knows a lot, for which he must be held accountable. Castor notices that Lazaro is a heart patient and kills him after revealing that he is Castor Troy.
I am Castor Troy.
Meanwhile, Sean reaches his home and encounters Eve there. He requests that she not scream and tries to explain that he is Sean, and that the last time he met her, he told her about her new assignment. Eve does not understand anything, and Sean takes Mike's picture, keeps it for him, telling Eve that his blood group is O negative while Castor's blood group is AB.
Castor's is AB.
At night, Castor returns home, apologizes to Eve for acting strangely, informs her about Lazaro's death, and states that he does not want to lose her too. Later that night, Eve collects Castor's blood sample, and as she confirms that Castor has been living with her, Sean appears behind him. He thanks her for believing in him, but she takes out her gun and he assures her that he is Sean by mentioning how they spent their first date night at the dentist and how he fell in love with her. After Eve is convinced, she covers his wounds. When he mentions that Castor will replace Lazaro as acting director of the FBI and will be untouchable, Eve tells him he won't be there tomorrow as he will attend Lazaro's funeral. The next morning, as Castor prepares for Lazaro's funeral, Sean gets ready to fight him, and Sasha insists on coming. Sean stops, and when asked, Sasha replies that she has dropped Adam off at his cousin's.
I took him over to my cousin's until this whole thing blows up.
Castor is at a funeral when a kid approaches him and gives him Mike's picture, stating that someone has asked him to give it to him. Castor gets the message and reaches Sean, who is standing alone. The duo spots each other, and a firefight ensues, but neither is hurt. Castor then orders his men to bring Eve, and he mentions that Jamie is also on her way here. Soon, Sasha arrives to help Sean, thinking he is Castor, but Castor tells him what is happening here. Sasha, Eve, and Sean make eye contact and guide each other about what to do. They start shooting, and Sean kills Castor's guys while Sasha gets shot and dies, asking Sean to take care of her son as he loves him.
Take care of our boy.
Castor reaches for a gun, while Sean tries to stop her from reaching for Castor. Castor and Sean fight, and as Sean gains the upper hand on Castor, Jamie arrives, and Castor manipulates her mind. Jamie does not understand and shoots her father, after which Castor takes her hostage. Before he can shoot her, Jamie attacks him using the knife he gave her for protection. Still, Castor manages to escape from there and get on a boat. Sean follows him on another boat, and before his boat may be destroyed, he mounts Castor's ship, and the duo engages in an intense fight on the boat. Eventually, the boat gets destroyed, and the duo ends up on the bank. Sean approaches him, but Castor attacks him and beats him badly. Sean spots the crossbow nearby and injures Castor using it. As Sean shoots the arrow, Castor grabs the crossbow and damages his face, stating that Sean will have to see his face for the rest of his life.
You'll see my face.
Sean loses his mind and kills him by hitting him between his legs. Soon, Buzz and Wanda rescue him, and he feels relaxed after hearing them call him by his real name. After
You okay, Archer?
that, Sean is in the hospital, and before the surgical process may begin, Sean informs the doctor that he does not have the mark on his chest anymore. Following that, Eve is sitting in her house when Sean arrives in his original outlook, and she hugs him. Jamie looks at her father and hugs him tightly, apologizing for shooting him. Sean gets permission from them and summons Adam. He orders Jamie to show him his new room while Eve kisses her husband, and the movie ends here. If you like this video, share, and like to help this channel out. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.